This is probably the fastest single switch that I've adapted before. I've seen a number of these around in Canadian thrift stores. And so I thought I'd get one and see how easy it was to actually adapt it. And you can actually adapt the whole thing with just the switch port. So I can show you what the behavior of the toy is. You turn it on, it has 2 volume levels. And it basically will change tracks. And it lights up in the back as well. So some of the routines are shorter than others, but it was a really inexpensive toy, and I noticed they're very popular. It does have a light, which again I think for some children can be a really nice thing to attract visual attention and that sort of thing. And so I do tend to put a limiter on, as I've mentioned before, for the sound, just to make it a little bit easier to process it visually. It's a fairly simple toy, so particularly for some children with cortical visual impairment or who might have some difficulty with multisensory processing, it can be kind of a neat little toy. And so the adaptation process was really simple. All I'm doing is putting this port on here. I don't get too deeply into all the information around it because you'll find other videos with this one that sort of explain what the process is of adapting, but also I usually expect people to go out and find their own information on soldering and safety, lead-free solder and all those sorts of things. So do a little bit of research and find out. With this toy, I took out the screws around the perimeter. The outside, there's 4 screws that are removed there. And then I opened up the device. And it is a little bit of a tight fit once you have it all together. I might have to pop the phone for a second. So what I've done here is basically there was on the bottom here, there was a little switch that sat inside, and it actually already had its own wires, these 2 red wires that were running to it. So in this you don't even need the wire, you just need the switch port. Though I pulled that out, I snipped off the wires from that switch and removed it. And then I put the little switch port up inside here. And so you can see I've connected to the upper terminal and the terminal on the bottom, the one on the outside, I guess you could say. As I've said before, I don't know on these jacks if you might be able to do the one up at the top here as well as either one of the bottom 2 if it's a mono port. I just don't fully remember. I usually put it on the outside one here, so the furthest one away from the upper tab there. And on the top you can see, so I've taken a drill, I've drilled through, put a pilot hole, and then stepped up the drill bit until I'm at about 1/4 inch, and then I just start to rotate the drill around until I get a big enough hole. I pop that through. I just twisted the wires around the outside there. Those will stay just fine. You can solder them if you'd like to be a little more confident, but I found it's not usually necessary. And then closing it up can be a little bit on the tricky side. You have to kind of put the head in like this. And then because I chose to put it here in particular, but because there's some sort of bulk up on the inside there, you have to make sure that it's low enough profile. You can kind of bend the pins on it down until it fits in properly. Like that, you replace the screws on the bottom and it's done. I think this took me about 5 minutes to adapt. So it's a really simple little one. Thanks for watching.